So many pieces all back together now. What's your vision?
Hi everyone, I am Albert. I welcome you to my channel Affluent English with Albert. In today's video, I'm going to teach you an important topic, that is figures of speech. So make sure you watch the video till the end, because at the end I'm going to give you a set of exercise. So without delay, let's get started. Okay, figures of speech. Figures of speech refer to the style of using words in sentences in such a way that it means something different than what it would literally mean. In other words, language can be literal or figurative, and figure of speech is used for creating great effect in your writing or speech. It is a stylistic literary device that brings clarity in writing, vividness in ideas, and beauty in expression. In fact, they adorn the language, awaken our imagination, and create an excitement when they are used. Why do we use figures of speech? As the human beings need ornaments to look more attractive, so is the language. In order to give some obvious form to the expressions, we have to use some device known as figures of speech. Figures of speech are used to add beauty, variety, emotion, intensity, emphasis, and clarity to the writing, so that it kindles the interest and the imagination of the readers and makes the reading more enjoyable. But to use the figures of speech skillfully, you need a dynamic imagination, acute perception, and good judgment. You must see similarities and differences in life. Do we need to learn figures of speech? Yes, it's good to learn because it's very useful for anyone basically to develop good writing and conversational skills. Moreover, the questions related with figures of speech appear a lot in the competitive exams like SAT, GRE, CAT, TET, PGT, etc. Coming to the types of figures of speech, there are so many types. The number may cross the hundreds. In this video, we are going to learn some important and common types which are often used in English language. The first one, simile. It's a Latin word that means like. It's a way of comparing something with something else, because the first thing shows a property of the second thing. As in, she is like a rose, wherein a girl is compared to a rose because she may be as beautiful or colorful as a rose. Let's see more examples. In simple terms, in simile, two things or actions are interlinked. In a simile, the words like and as are used to show the comparison. Few more examples. She swims like a fish. My heart is racing like a frightened rabbit. He is as tall as a skyscraper. The news spread like a fire. So through these expressions, the writer tries to kindle our imagination. That's why we use these figures of speech. Let's move on to the next one, metaphor. Metaphor, it is also a way of comparing two things, but here one thing is equated to another thing because they are similar or exhibit almost the same property or behavior, as in, her heart is a stone, wherein a girl's heart is compared to a stone because her heart is also feelingless like stone. In short, the metaphor is an implied comparison without the use of any comparative word. In metaphor, words like so, as are not used. More examples. She cried a river of tears when she was deserted by her partner. Here, a river of tears, that means she cried a lot. A life is a boat which should sail smoothly. Life is compared with a boat. Magadhira was a lion in the battle. It shows how brave he was in the battle. The primary difference between simile and metaphor is this. Simile is compared A is like B, and in metaphor A is equated with B. I hope you got it. Let's see the other one, personification. Treating non-human things like animals, objects, ideas, etc. as human beings or with human qualities. Personification. Examples: the carved pumpkin smiled at me. It's spring and the garden is changing its clothes. The ocean danced in the moonlight. Having said about the personification, let's see the other one, apostrophe. Apostrophe, meaning turning away, is similar to personification because it attributes life to lifeless things. But it goes one step further by addressing directly and passionately the absent as if present, the dead as if alive. Many poets use apostrophe in poetry because of its potent demand upon the imagination. Let's see an example. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. This is an excerpt from Blue Moon. The other figure of speech is hyperbole. It is a figure of speech in which exaggeration of words is made on a statement in order to create an impressiveness. It's an effective mode of drawing attention, expression of emotion, and to create a poetic effect. Examples: I've told you a million times to write the homework. The word million is hyperbole because it exaggerates the number of times, as it is not possible to tell something so many times, but it expresses the emotion of the speaker here. Few more examples. My uncle has tons of money. Your skin is softer than silk. Let's see the next one, euphemism. Euphemism is also known as a soft expression. By using a euphemism, we speak in a softened and milder form to give the expression of unpleasant thing. It is an indirect, polished and more acceptable way of telling unpleasant thing or harsh truths. Few examples for euphemism. When the doctor comes out of the operation theaters, he says he did not make it. He did not make it means died. And when you see a woman who is very fat, you can say she is full figured. Full figured. When you say fat, they feel offended. And another example is differently abled. Differently abled means disabled or handicapped. But when you say handicapped, they feel, hurt. So there's another term is differently abled. So these expressions are called euphemism. Let's move on to the next one, that is irony. It's a figure of speech that is used to express the opposite of the literal meaning, especially in a sarcastic way. A few examples for irony. Is she beautiful? I think her grandmother is very beautiful. Another one. Yes, he will help you by making your purse lighter frequently. You say one thing and you mean the opposite thing. That is irony. And other dimension is interrogation. Interrogation is a way of asking questions to put across a point more effectively, not for merely getting an answer. Examples: am I your servant? It means you cannot order me to do something. The second example: is it not my right to have a share in my ancestors' property? I have all the rights to have. That's what it means. Synecdoche. Synecdoche. It is another figure of speech. It is a figure of speech in which a part is used to represent a whole, or a whole thing is used to represent a part. Few examples. India won the World Cup. India represents a team here. This finger deserves a gold ring. Here the finger represents, this part represents a person. Another one, he won her hand in marriage. Let's move on to the other one. Metonymy. Metonymy. In this figure of speech, one related word, not exactly the accurate word, is used to represent something. This figure of speech is economical, for it lets you use one word where you would need several words to create a meaning. Let's see some examples for metonymy. He chose a gun instead of a cap and a gown. That is, he became a soldier instead of a student or a scholar. The second one, the bench reserved the judgment. A bench refers to the judges. And another one, he addressed the chair. The chair represents the chairman or the presiding officer. And another one we have is antithesis. Two contrasting but related or parallel ideas are expressed in the same sentence in antithesis. Examples: united we stand, divided we fall. To err is human, to forgive is divine. Deeds show what we are, words what we should be. Antithesis. Now let's see what is oxymoron. The term oxymoron stems from the ancient Greek words oxy and moros. These two words, when used in combination, meant sharp, dull. It is a figure of speech in which two contradictory or incongruous words are combined together in order to create an effect and to emphasize the meaning of one of the words. Here are a few examples. Only choice, pretty, ugly, new, used car, small, crowd, and so on. And now let's see what is climax. Climax is a way of writing in which a series of phrases or sentences are arranged in the increasing order of importance. It is the highest point of interest in narrative fiction. Examples: he got up, got ready, kicked his bike and sped away. Another example: he sacrificed his business, his home and his honor for political gain. Now let us see the last one in today's video, that is anticlimax. Anticlimax, the opposite of climax, is useful in humorous writing because it produces great surprise. It is considered an error in discourse unless purposely intended to produce a ridiculous effect. Anticlimax. Few examples. First one, not only does he dance, sing and drink, but also he vomits at the end. Second one, he lost his wife, his child, his household goods and his dog at one fell swoop. And the third one, man builds castles and palaces, lives in rooms, lies even in smaller beds, finally ends up within the soil. Alright, that's the end of today's lesson. As I said in the beginning, I'm going to give you 10 questions. You can pause the video and identify the figure of speech used in those different 10 sentences and write your answers in the comment section. I would be delighted to see your answers, and if you like this video, please give it a like, and if you really like this video, you can share it with your friends so that they do get benefited out of this lesson. Now here you go with the questions. Alright, I hope you learned something new in today's video, and see you soon with another interesting video. Until then, take care.